Buhari joins APC presidential candidate Tinubu in Yobe. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors warns of a nationwide industrial action over pending issues. Governor Tom's aide debunks reports that the G5 governors have endorsed presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar. Also tonight in Politics HQ, Gabon appoints first female vice president and new prime minister. Rwanda says it will not accept DR Congo refugees anymore. I'm Sulaiman Aledeh. Tonight, Ejike Okpa joins me live from the United States. He's a global affairs analyst, and Bibi Farouk, Director Planning, Research and Strategy of the NNPP, to speak on the campaign so far in Nigeria's election. Stay with us. 2023 presidential election is one that Nigerians are fervently waiting for. Its importance cannot be overflogged, and Nigerians can't wait to see what's ahead of them after Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the issues are enormous, from the strongest candidates to the hopefuls and the dark horses. It is a Nigerian election like no other, special by every consideration, delicate in its feel, yet heavy in its weight. Now, the APC battles to convince people that have been left to heal many wounds after 8 years. The main opposition, that's the PDP, is on a path to earning the trust of a people that were not so convinced in its 16 years of leadership. The Labour Party looks to be the most exciting concept of the lot, yet it faces internal and external struggles too. Oppositions to the Labour Party say it has no structure. While the party has often flung these as baseless, there are issues with actual fiscal structures. The Labour Party says Lagos landlords have left the party hanging outside as it has been consistently refused rent. Some of the questions posed are why Lagos? But the party says, why not Lagos? There's also the never-ending query of its readiness for the most important election in its history, and arguably in Nigeria's democratic and political history. And that's not all. On Politics HQ today, we'll also look at the NNPP and its presidential campaign. Rabiu Musa Konkonso and his army of red-cap soldiers, are they the dark horses of these elections? What will the campaign council tell Nigerians about their ambitions? Stay with us here in Politics HQ tonight. Live from Dallas, Texas, Ejike Okpa joins me. He's a global affairs analyst and one who's always had interest in issues around the continent. Ejike, good to see you and thanks for your time. Well, Nigerians say they are ready, but again, looking at the body language and the actual physical movement of Nigerians, what would you say about the readiness of people who say they are ready?
Well, thank you for having me and Happy New Year. This is our first time exchanging, facial and verbal greetings. I don't know what to say about, the politics in Nigeria because it's all about movement. It's not about policies. It's not about issues. It's about the personalities that line up, to be selected. I don't even think there's confidence in the election process, but that's what they have. Nigerians are excited. They are anxious about what this year's election is going to produce. For whomever, there are 4 or 5, there are so many, but maybe 3 or 4, top candidates. I don't think Nigerians are ready to have anybody that Buhari is going to endorse to be the president of Nigeria, because Buhari has been a shameful failure. He's a lousy leader. For the 8 years he's there. Nigeria has seen, what Nigeria has never seen in its life. A former general who cannot even, bring to bear, any decisive force, on the internal crisis, public safety that is facing the country. So why would Nigerians endorse anybody that Buhari is behind? Is it for them to do what Buhari is going to be stepping away from? So I'm hoping that their readiness is to go and show Buhari we don't want him. I think on the day he's going to be leaving office, which will be May 29th, Nigerians should boo him. They let him go. If he now wants to go to London and have a permanent medical checkup, which is what he's done most of the time he's been in office, let him do that. But Nigerians should know that the country does not belong to the president. It belongs to the 200 million or so Nigerians who have found their life devastated by bad policy of Buhari.
Let me jump in here. I hope you don't lose your train of thought. But again, President Buhari is not on the ballot. Whether he's done well or not is really immaterial because he's not on the ballot. So looking at the candidates, you say, well, whoever he's backing should also be ignored. But on account of those being tested and trusted, on account of manifestos and programs of politicians, shouldn't everyone be given a fair chance to actually speak to the Nigerian people?
No, every Nigerian that is running, that is on the ballot is entitled to do so, provided they meet the qualification of candidacy for the office they are running for. I know Buhari is not on the ballot, but I'm just saying anybody that Buhari is going to tell people to vote for, endorse, Nigeria should rally against that person, just to let Buhari know that his influence for the past 8 years has waned and they don't want him and they want him to go away. And he's had his 8 years of fame or 8 years of shameful leadership. That's what Nigerians should let him know. So that way when he goes away...
And again, I jump in here. Do you think that that will happen anytime soon? Knowing full well that every election, we've seen politicians, go back to past leaders for some kind of endorsement. We've seen the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, also giving his endorsement to the Labour Party candidate. Some have also made that trip to Mina, where we have two former presidents. So it seemed to be a culture in politics in Nigeria.
Well, that's true, because of course, they've been there and everybody think that they have some influence and they carry some collateral value. But even Obasanjo, Obasanjo has always wanted to be the kingmaker in Nigeria. He was the one that brought in Yaradua, who didn't stay long in office. He was the one that handpicked Jonathan as a replacement. So again, people should let Obasanjo, all these formats, even Babangida, Abubakar, Nigeria should begin to let these people know you don't own this country. You had your chance to have made it right, and they haven't. So why are you still, hero worshiping them? Ignore them. Let the people who are on the ballot earn the confidence of Nigerians and begin to speak on their own ability to change the direction that the country has gone in the past 8 years. They can do it if they are constantly going to kneel down and bow to these people I call, brain dead, who don't have anything else to offer to Nigerians except to create this appearance of substance. And they don't have the substance. Not Obasanjo, not Buhari, not Bangida, not Abubakar. Nigerians are now well informed, and they should be confident to let these people know we don't need you. You've had your days or years under the sun, go away. Let us see if we can rescue this country, the most populous black nation in the world. Is a disgrace to Nigerians because nothing works. Buhari should just quietly fade like a sunset. If he's, like I said, if he's going to go live in London, Nigerians are not going to miss him. If he's going to go back to Douala, where he comes from, Nigeria are not going to miss him.
Speaking of which, now you just mentioned London. We're also talking about the campaigns now, Ejike, and as they speak to Nigerians, inclusive of past leaders, and the candidates have also taken trips abroad. We've seen, sometimes to speak to people like yourself and some Africans living in diaspora, and some other times to also campaign to foreign entities or who will not be casting their ballot here in the country. Well, the most recent has to do with the trip we've just seen and is still making the rounds to London. Whether talking about Raymond Dokpesi, whether he was invited by Atiku Abubakar or by the British government. Let's talk about all of that and how the campaign, because there are a lot of dirty questions, and of course, dirty questions may give you dirty answers that this particular election has brought up. Now, speak to us on the importance of having the campaign within Nigeria, as we've seen campaigns across other parts. In the United States, I don't recall any president going outside America to campaign. Is there?
Yeah, America is America, Nigeria is Nigeria. I find it funny that Nigerian presidential candidates would go and host events in London, and Nigerians would go over there to meet them to talk about something going on in Nigeria. I mean, how do Nigerians take their nuisance to a country that they said colonize you and has put you where you are, but you are constantly going there to show them that you are craving their indulgence or approval in order for you to run your country. How many British prime ministers or whomever running for have ever gone to Nigeria to talk to British people? I mean, I don't even think it makes any sense. When people came to Dallas, I refused to go see him because I was like, why? What are you doing here? Atiku made a shameful, sham visit to Washington, D.C. to show that, nobody's, trying to arrest him or he has not been prevented to come to America. That's a sham. Even if you have all Nigerians in America to vote, myself, I will never vote in Nigeria election because I'm an American by choice. But I will support good measures. I will support good causes, to see that the average Nigerian has confidence and begin to feel that they too own the country and this is where they want to be. Everybody's not going to migrate out of Nigeria. So when all these candidates go out and begin to say they are speaking to Nigeria, which Nigerians are you speaking to? Are you speaking to Nigerians who have no chance of coming back? Even if every Nigerian in America were to vote for a party, there are less than 1 million Nigerians in America. So what has that got to do percentage-wise to the registered voters in Nigeria? These people should sit their butt at home, like we say in America, sit your butt at home. Go to every local government, go to every state, campaign to the people, look them straight in the eyes, ask them the question, are they happy? Are they, for the past 8 years or 4 years, are they happy with the governor of their state? Are they happy with the local government chairman? And not to every opportunity they have, they jump in and they plan and go to London. I mean, then you look at the shameful, display that whatever his name is, Raymond Dokpesi, the IT guy. I mean, you say you're invited by the British government, and then at the airport they detain you or arrested you. Well, how can he justify that? If he's a man of credibility, let him produce an email or an invitation showing that actually he was invited. But he can't. But so they use this lousy statement to talk to people as if they are talking to their village people. These people, Sulaiman, Nigerian leaders. There are 3 ways you have communication. Nigerian leaders talk at Nigerians. They hardly talk to Nigerians, and they don't talk with Nigerians. If you look at those 3 categories of talking to people, you see that the most respectable way is talking with you. Your leader should talk with you, but Nigerian leaders talk at Nigerians. And then when it's convenient for them, they talk to them. Nigeria should say no to this. This is no longer 1914 or years before independence. Nigerians now have exposure. Nigerians should now be confident in order to stand up to their leaders, because these are Nigerians abusing Nigerians. The nonsense that goes on in Nigeria is not caused by ghosts. These are your own village people. These are your own Parakbo, your own Wuna, your own Hausa, Fulani, whatever you call them. It's very annoying that for the past 8 years, people have put weight on the Fulanis, as if the Fulanis are everywhere in Nigeria, whether that is true or not, but it's not, because the Nigerians don't want to accept the responsibility for the internal issues that affect them even in their own family. It's always their neighbor. It's always somebody responsible for the nuisance.
Let me jump in here, but quickly before that, on a lighter note. So Ejike, you still remember Parakbo?
Hey, look, I'm a homeboy, even though I've been in America as long as, I come to Nigeria often. I'm physically not in Nigeria, but I am mentally tied in there because I still have family members. I have people
you actually got me with that. But quickly here, let's talk about the campaigns proper now. And time was in Nigeria, it's always a two-horse race. Even when we had a multi-party system, you always hear NPN, UPN, and pretty much later when we had a two-party system, SDP, PDP, and now it became APC and PDP. But are you excited that now we're getting to see new entrants and they're making loud statements like the Labour Party and even the NNPP?
Well, look, the political alignment of today, 2023, reminds me of the political alignment of 1979, which was the fact that the first time I voted in Nigeria, and then the last time was in the 83 election, before the coup. But the thing is, you see that alignment, who was the UPN guy, Awolowo, Shagari MPN, and then Zik MPP. And then what did we get? Through some other, ways, Shagari won, who was the vice president, Alex Ekweme, and then what did Nigeria get out of it? In less than 5 years or 4 years, basically, the whole thing collapsed. And now what we are seeing is the same tribal alignment, P2B for, Labour Party, what is his name, Atiku, PDP, and then Tinubu, APC. But when you go into those political alignment, you just ask yourself, what are the policies that are they pushing? What is the content? What should any Nigerian hang on to based on what these candidates are saying? What Nigerians are basically doing, and the excitement that I see in all of them, is that, oh, this is a good man. P2B is the less of the evil. He's the good out of the bad and the ugly. Tinubu is the ugly. However, anybody, both physically looking, he's an ugly man. And then the way he conducts his own business is very ugly. And then you look at Atiku. Atiku is good, but Atiku is a damaged product because his former boss, Obasanjo, called him a thief. So P2B is the one that has sort of enjoyed, a mild thing because he looks to be, the angel out of this whole group of, bad people. So, but my point is, at the end of the day, you're not looking for a good man. You're looking for a man who's going to do the job based on the Constitution. But unfortunately, the Nigerian Constitution is an enabler. The Nigerian Constitution is not crafted for Nigeria to succeed. And nobody's talking about those things. The whole structure of political survival in Nigeria is hinged on 1 + 36 people. Oftentimes, the governors are the worst out of the president because, at the state level, you don't have strong House of Assembly to even checkmate what these governors do. At the national, you may have the House and the Senate, pretending to do something. But so why should 200 million people be governed and maligned and ruined by 36 men who are not ghosts? These are your village people.
But again, Ejike, it comes back to the people. We the people here in Nigeria, because sometimes sometimes some of the key issues. Sorry to cut you here. Some of the key issues are issues that are within the purview of local government, some within the states. But these are things not known by the people, to the extent that almost everything is pointed at the federal government.
But again, it's a case of awareness, and Nigerians have refused to be aware. The Nigerians have refused to be educated about what are the things that are, the albatross hanging on their neck. Your local government chairman is not going to come from it's not going to be anybody other than somebody from your local government. That's why I say, is your village man, is your Omona or your Parako. At the end of the day, you see them doing things, building houses, spending your money, and nobody has ever said, hey, how are you making this money? What is your salary? Instead, they have this default deflective conduct of blaming the Fulani man. I mean, come on, a Fulani man, what runs in his vein? Is it water? Is it not blood? So why all of a sudden the Fulanis has become the go-to person in Nigeria when in their own geographical location is a very depressing, tell me, apart from Kaduna and Kano because of the presence of the military establishment in Kaduna, what are the Hausa Northern governors doing? They are the worst part of people in Nigeria because they do like a day. You know, they want people to come to them every day and get something, and then they go off and do what they do. So the Hausa people that Nigerians or the Hausa Fulanis that the Nigerians are saying are running this country, go to their various states. What is there? Are they industry owners? Are they business creators? Some of them have found a way by default into the federal government to have positions, and they don't do anything. Except, again, you know, from time to time, they go to Mecca, they're going to go become Alhaji or something. Is that what Nigeria needs? So the Nigerians have to become aware and be emboldened to start asking questions. You know, why are you celebrating your village man or village woman who is your governor, senator, or house member? At the same time, your salaries are not being paid. At the same time, the roads are not being built. Or even when they are built, they are not properly built. So it is not a ghost situation. It's a human factor situation. So Nigerians have to now say, why have we allowed these people, our own sons and daughters? Remember, just like, you know, some 40 years ago, the people that are ruling Nigeria were complaining about the government. Now they have the opportunity to make a difference. They are doing the same thing they complained about. And everybody's sitting around them, you know, clapping and calling them Your Excellency. Sulaiman, when you say somebody is excellent, what is excellent about Nigeria? I think, you know, I think P2B, if he succeeds in getting in there, he should now show that I don't want this title, I want to be Mr. B, I don't want to be called Your Excellency, and I hope he does not go and kneel down before any Emir, Oba, Amanabo, you know, King Jaja, whatever they are, kneel down before Nigerians, stop creating falsehood with this so-called chieftain. You know, Nigeria should move away from it. Nigeria should start to look at the 200 million Nigerians. I mean, you live in Lagos. You live in Lagos. How reliable is the power supply? Do you have water system? Do you have sewer system? Are your trash being picked up? What is your public safety? Can you get in your car by 2 o'clock and visit a friend across town? Can you do that? You can't. And then who are you looking to? Going to London to speak to the British people or going to America to do what? The white men are laughing. I happen to have opportunity to interact with Americans at various levels. And they always say, Edward, what's going on in Nigeria? I say, no, well, that's my country of birth. This is my country. But I constantly get this. And then you have these people getting the plane, constantly going to go seek audience with a white man. The white man that colonized, the white man that you are saying that doesn't want you to grow is the person you are going in there and pleading for your survival. I don't think it should be the case with Nigeria. Nigeria should be the example of a resilient Black nation that if they get their acts, right, maybe other Black nations will be bold and so on. But if Nigeria is falling apart at the seams, and you have people like Buhari who cannot even communicate what his visions are, or Obasanjo who wants to be a kingmaker by default and an awful design, or Babangida who no longer can move around, he's in his mansion in Mina and still want to be, giving some credence of substance. Walk away from those people. Shun them. If they do a party, don't go. Show them that you are tired and frustrated by the abuse they have heaped on you by voting against anybody that they are supporting.
All right, Ejike, I think that's a fine place for us to leave it. We do hope that we'll keep the conversations going. It's just about 49 days to the big election here in the country, and the campaign issues you've raised, going through infrastructure, electricity, and quite a lot, and even grassroots governance must be looked into. Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Okpa, many thanks for speaking with us on Politics HQ.
Thank you. I'd like to get those suspenders. Can you ship it to me?
Well, thank you very much. And again, I think you live in the town of suspenders and braces, so I think we'll come over and pick some from you too.